I'm River Gibbs. When young people in my generation want some entertainment, all we have to do is go to the internet, or maybe see a movie, or check out the 300 channels on our cable TV box. But when my grandparents were young, aside from reading a good book or spending Saturday at the movies, the best way to have fun was to listen to the radio. During the next hour, we'll turn back the clock and hear the old-time radio shows young America liked the best. Although the iconic radio series Gunsmoke was billed as the first real adult Western, it had millions of younger fans. Gunsmoke attracted a young audience largely because of the likable characters, including Marshal Matt Dillon, Miss Kitty, Doc, and Chester. Gunsmoke was the real gold standard of the latter days of old-time radio. Of course, it would go on to run 20 years on television, but with a different cast. Now, sit back and enjoy the first of 3 episodes of a real juvenile favorite, Gunsmoke. By the way, I've taken all the tobacco commercials out of these broadcasts.
Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of gun smoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad, the transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America, and the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man, Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful and a little lonely.
There. I got enough to buy one more drink, Miss Kitty.
You shouldn't spend all your money on me, mister.
Mister? Well, listen to that. Ain't nobody called me mister in my whole life.
How old are you, Billy?
21.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's true.
Well, anyway, you're old enough to be called mister.
Golly, you sure make a man feel good, Miss Kitty.
Thank you, Billy. But you pick up that money now. You've had enough to drink for one night.
Oh, a couple of beers.
Save it for breakfast, Billy. You'll be glad I made you.
Now you ain't treating me like a man, Miss Kitty.
There's no reason why she should, kid. Kitty, huh? You won't have no trouble treating me like a man, Kitty.
Beat it, stranger.
What are you horning in here for?
Go on home to bed, kid. Let's you and me sit down somewhere, Kitty. Talk it over a little.
You wouldn't feel at home, stranger.
What?
There's no hog wallow for you to sit in around here.
People don't talk to Joe Delk like that.
Then Joe Delk had better go back to wherever it is he's got people afraid of him. Not here, mister. Not in Dodge.
They'll be afraid of me in Dodge. You just don't know I'm here yet.
Well, why don't you go let him know and leave us alone?
She's asking you, mister.
I'm telling him.
You heard her.
I'll take care of you in a minute, Kitty. As soon as I get this little blowfly off my neck. Yeah. This your money, kid?
You leave that alone.
Go on, go pick it up before you get into real trouble.
I'll kill you for that.
No,
Ooh.
Billy, he's a gunman. Can't you tell?
I don't care what he is.
You killed him. He was only a kid.
I wouldn't care if he was a grown
He
man.
didn't have a chance against a professional like you.
Nobody I've ever met has. But now people begin to know Joe Delk's in town.
I never heard of Joe Delk.
Yeah, maybe not, mister, but you've seen what he can do.
I didn't see it.
Matt, that poor kid. I don't even know his last name.
What happened, Kitty?
I'll tell you what happened, mister. He got to crowding me, same as you're doing right now.
This is Marshal Dillon you're talking to.
Oh, Marshal Dillon, eh? Well, I don't mind eating the Marshal now and then.
Did he murder the boy, Kitty?
No, he didn't, Matt. Kid drew first.
Must have been easy for you, Delk.
Real easy, Marshal. It was kind of fun.
Fun. Killing that nice boy. Fun.
Yeah, taking my time that way. What are you doing? Give me my gun.
You're not gonna be needing a gun, Delk.
Good, Matt. God! He sure never expected that, did he?
No gunman would, Kitty. But he's sure never gonna forget it.
Well, morning, Mr. Dillon.
Morning, Chester.
I let Delk out of his cage. He ain't none too surprised this morning.
What do you expect me to do, you holding a shotgun on me?
How you feeling, Delk? Outside of your pride being hurt, I mean.
You know what I think of a man who fights with his hands, Marshal?
I don't care what you think about anything.
He's a coward. That's what he is.
It took you by surprise, didn't it?
Of course it did.
And it hurt you, too, didn't it, Delk? Hurt you pretty bad. You wouldn't want to go through that again, would you?
No. No, I wouldn't.
Because I'd kick you half to death next time. Now, what are you doing in Dodge, anyway?
Coming on the Santa Fe yesterday.
I said, what are you doing
Look,
here?
Marshal, just because I had to shoot a man in self-defense...
Boy.
He had a gun, didn't he?
Against you, he might as well have had a stick.
It was still self-defense.
There. There's your gun belt.
You turning me loose?
Put it on.
Okay.
Now, I can't reach you from here with my fists, Delk.
My, that was an awful chance you took, Mr. Dillon. I mean, you might have had to shoot him.
I was pretty sure he wouldn't draw it, Chester.
Well, why?
The beating I gave him last night. That takes the vinegar out of a man like Delk. Kind of scares him.
You mean that's why he just walked out of here?
And it could be one reason.
One reason.
Yeah, maybe he's got something in mind.
Like what?
Like finding me when I'm not ready for him. Or putting himself behind a shotgun. Or shooting me in the back. Delk never got hurt that way before. It rattled him some. But he's not through. Not yet.
Can I borrow your spoon to stir my coffee, Matt?
Ah, sure, Kitty. Here
Thanks.
you are.
You'd think this restaurant could afford more than one spoon to two customers.
Well, if they did, they couldn't afford the quality beef they serve.
Then I won't complain. I'd hate to think of eating any lower off one of those animals.
You know something, Kitty?
Huh?
Before long, some bright fella's going to get the idea of raising cattle in one small area where they can live peaceful and grow fat and juicy.
Sounds like a great idea, Matt. Why don't you start it?
No, I got a job.
Well, sure, I forgot. After all, a job with a future like yours.
Oh, no, Kitty.
I can see your gravestone. He didn't die rich, but he sure died stubborn.
I like that. I think I'll use it.
You won't be there.
Well, maybe you'll take care of it for me, huh?
Having dinner with you is real pleasurable, Matt.
Well, thank you, Kitty.
Don't mention it.
Mr. Dillon. Hello, Miss Kitty.
You sit down, Chester. Have some coffee with us.
We ain't got time, Miss Kitty. Doc's gonna be waiting outside any minute.
Doc?
He wants you to go to the Dodge house with him, Mr. Dillon.
Oh, what for?
To see Joe Delk.
Don't tell me somebody's finally shot that ape.
No, it ain't that. He was over the Texas Trail drinking all day yesterday. He sent word to Doc he's sober now, but he's got the shakes and needs something to fix him up.
Wolf poison might help.
Oh, why does Doc want me along, Chester?
Maybe he don't trust old Delk. Anyway, he says he won't go see him alone.
Yeah, well, maybe he's right.
I never heard of a gunman fool enough to drink so much he got the shakes, man.
No, neither did I, Kitty.
Maybe it ain't even true, Mr. Dillon. Maybe he's got something fancy in mind, like you said.
Yeah, maybe. You wait down here, Chester.
Yes, sir.
What'd the clerk say, Matt?
Top of the stairs, the fifth room on the left.
Wouldn't surprise me if he's recovered by now.
No, what do you mean?
It's been 2 or 3 hours since he sent for me. I didn't think it hurt him to live with his misery a while.
Yeah, if there was anything wrong with him at all.
No, I heard he'd been drinking yesterday. Jim Buck said he saw him over there.
Man can make a show of drinking and still be sober, Doc.
Yeah, if he's got a reason, you mean.
Yeah.
Hey, shh, wait a minute. This is the room.
Wait a minute. Listen.
Somebody's in there with her.
No, it's just Delk.
No. Get away. Don't hit me. Get away. Stop. I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Matt, it's locked.
It's not out of the way, Doc.
Don't hit me, Marshal. Don't hit me.
Why, he's asleep, Matt. He's dreaming.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, Delk.
No.
Delk. Come on, wake up. Delk, come on.
Marshal, what are you doing here? Who's he?
Well, I'm Doc Adams. You're awake now, Delk. You were having a nightmare.
Yeah. I was dreaming. Where you been? I sent for you hours ago. What'd you bring the marshal for?
What in the world's going on here, Mr. Dillon?
It's all right, Chester. Delk got a little mixed up. He started seeing things.
Guys, dreaming.
Man like you can't afford to dream like that, Delk. You can't afford to get as jumpy as you are.
Doc, give me something. Give me something to take.
Oh, yes, all right. I've got some pills here somewhere. If I can just find them now. Yes, but these pills won't do you as much good as about a gallon of coffee will.
What are you staring at me for, Marshal?
Just taking a last look, Delk.
What do you mean?
2 hours from now, I don't want you anywhere near Dodge.
I ain't done nothing.
You're all through, Delk. Your gun's no use to you anymore. You're afraid.
I had a bad dream. That don't mean nothing.
You got 2 hours, Delk. Go get killed someplace else. I don't want to watch it.
I shouldn't ought to even be in here, Mr. Dillon.
Oh, why not, Chester?
Well, I'm broke.
Well, the beer's on me.
Oh, well, now, I surely do thank you, Mr. Dillon. I'm plumb grateful. I truly am plumb grateful to you.
I only figured on buying you one, Chester.
Oh. Mr. Dillon,
Yeah, I see him. Well, he's still got an hour.
Who's that fellow he's talking to?
Some drifter, I guess.
I'll buy you a drink, mister. No, I ain't drinking no more. I only come in for one. I said I'd buy you a drink. Sorry, stranger. One's all I can take. I did my drinking yesterday. I don't like it much when a man's downright unfriendly. Well, some other time, mister. I could take it. You think you're too good to drink with me. Oh, that ain't what I'm saying. I told you why. You'll drink with me? No. No, I can't. All right. You're wearing a gun. No.
Mr. Dillon?
All right, hold it, mister.
Marshal.
Step back, Delk.
What are you interfering for?
Did you ever hear of Joe Delk?
What's he got to do with this?
You were about to fight him.
Joe Delk? Nah. That couldn't be him.
Oh, why not?
Delk wouldn't take that kind of talk. He'd have killed me right off.
You're just lucky, mister.
You really Joe Delk, mister? I am. Look, I didn't mean nothing. I didn't know. I gotta be going anyway.
Well, Delk?
It ain't 2 hours, Marshal.
I said I didn't want to watch you get killed here. You go find yourself a horse. I'll be at my office for 30 minutes, then I'm going to come looking for you.
The 30 minutes is up, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah,
You reckon he's left?
I hope so, Chester.
I feel kind of sorry for him.
Do you?
It's him.
Now just take it easy, Marshal. I ain't looking for trouble. I want to talk to you.
All right, talk.
You seen it? That fellow over at the saloon?
Yeah, what about him?
I backed down, Marshal. I was afraid of him. Don't you understand that?
He was no gunman.
Of course he wasn't. Something's wrong with me, Marshal. Ever since that beating you gave me.
What did you want to see me about, Doc?
You gotta help me.
Help you?
I'm gonna take my gun off. I'm through gunfighting, but you gotta protect me. You gotta do it, Marshal.
I'm sorry, Doc. There's nothing I can do for
I'll
you.
get killed. There's men all over looking to kill me.
You should have thought about that a long time
Well,
ago.
let me stay here, Marshal. You tell everybody to leave me alone. I'll die if you don't.
Doc, let me ask you something. How many men have you killed in your time?
I don't know a lot of them. What difference?
How many like that boy you shot down the other night?
You're against me. You ain't gonna help.
No, I'm not going to help you. 'Cause you're a killer, Doc. You're nothing but a murderer.
All right. I'll go. I don't know where, but I'll go.
Wait a minute, Doc. Did you ever hear that saying about how a man who lives by the sword dies by the sword?
Yeah. I heard that somewhere.
Well, it's true, you know.
I guess it's gonna be true for me.
Yeah.
You know something, Marshal?
What?
I can't think of no reason why someday he ain't gonna be true for you.
Now, another Gunsmoke broadcast.
Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of gun smoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad. The transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America. And the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man, Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful and a little lonely.
Evening, Matt.
Hello, Kitty.
You look a little blue.
Oh, it's cold outside.
Well, you sit down.
Yeah.
I'll have Sam fix you up a coffee grub. That'll warm you.
Why do you think I came in?
Well, you sure know the way to compliment a lady. Maybe I ought to just.
What do you think you're doing?
Matt, look. He's been spoiling for trouble ever since he came in here.
I asked
That's
you a
Murdoch,
question,
huh?
mister.
Do you know him?
Yeah.
Well, answer.
Nothing. You don't need the whole bar.
What'd you say?
I got as much right here as you.
Is that so?
Matt, he's got a knife.
Wait a minute.
Murdoch! Put it up.
You again, Dillon. Just like the last time. You want more of the same?
It's a little different now, Murdoch.
So I see. You got a badge to hide behind.
Put up the knife. That's better.
This man's crazy, Marshal. I didn't do a thing to him. I didn't mean to jostle him.
It's all right, son. It's over now. Go on about your business.
Yes, sir, Marshal. Yes, sir.
Yeah. What kind of a bone picker is that for the High Plains?
Times have changed, Murdoch.
Nothing but settlers and dudes, bone pickers and trackmen, cow wranglers and bluecoats, and lawmen.
There's something you better understand, Murdoch. When Dodge was full of you buffalo hunters, you could throw your weight around. Well, not anymore.
I ain't changed, Dillon.
Just stay out of trouble.
I'll do as I want.
You always did. What are you doing in Dodge anyway? There haven't been any buffalo around here for years.
Well, maybe I came to see you, Dillon.
And I thought you probably figured me for dead.
Oh, no. I heard about you and your badge.
Maybe it's just as well for both of us I'm wearing it.
I don't fear no man. And least of all, you.
All right. Just let me give you a little warning. If you're thinking of going south for buffalo into Indian territory, I wouldn't.
I do a lot of things you wouldn't.
This is orders from Washington. They don't want any more trouble with the Indians. The territory is closed to hunters. They got cavalry patrols along the line.
I go where I aim to go. And I don't fear no cavalry.
And I got orders to stop anyone.
Have you now?
You just remember what I said.
Matt, he's dangerous. There's a crazy look in his eyes.
You know, Kitty, when the buffalo herds were running, Dodge was 2,000 like him and not much else.
Well, who is he?
He's the one the Indians call Long Arm. His name's Jace Murdoch.
Oh, I've heard of him.
Yeah. Almost a legend on the frontier. Been on the plains maybe 30 or more years. Beaver trapper, buffalo hunter, Indian scout. He lived with the Indians a long time.
Matt, what's between you and Murdoch? A grudge?
That's the kind of a thing a man doesn't like to talk about, I remember, Kitty. When he takes a beating.
You?
I was just in from Missouri. Pretty green. Murdoch and some of his crowd were in town on a spree. But when their fun threatened to include scalping a hide fighter they didn't like, I stepped into it. Like I say, I was pretty green.
They beat you, Matt?
Left me for dead down by the river.
You watch out for him. He's a troublemaker.
Yeah. But right now, I want to find out why he's here. I figured Murdoch was in Dodge outfitting a hunt, so I found the merchant who sold him supplies. He couldn't tell me much, except that Murdoch had an Indian with him for a skinner, and that they were camped somewhere outside town. Took me a while, but I found the camp. And when I came up, the Indian was alone. He was a young brave, and he was hunched over the fire, sharpening a long, curved skinning knife. It's all right. Go on. You're a long way from home, aren't you? What are you, Blackfoot?
How do you know that?
The scars on your wrists, the cut arms. Your people do that in mourning some close relative's death, don't they? No. Who are those for? Father, brother, mother? All right. My name's Matt Dillon. I'm a U.S. Marshal. How are you called? Oh, what does Murdoch call you?
When he is not angry, Injun.
And when he is?
Dog eater.
Ah. And he knows his Indian insults. What do your people call you?
It means golden calf.
You're a breed, aren't you?
I'm an Indian.
Well, then what are you doing here so far from your tribe, skinning buffalo for a man like Murdoch?
In the lodges at night, my people speak of the pale warrior with the long arm.
Jace Murdoch, huh?
When he was with us, his medicine was good. The plains were dark with buffalo. They gave the Indian all he needed: food, clothes, beds, lodge skins. Now we do not have good medicine. The buffalo are gone.
So you came looking for Murdoch, for Long Arm, to take him back?
Yes. But he would not go, so I stay with him.
And now you're going on a buffalo hunt with him into treaty territory, huh?
He does not tell me where he goes.
But I'll tell you. He's going to hunt among the few small herds that are left, given by the treaty to the Indian.
I do not know that.
Well, it's true. And if you do this, you're robbing your brothers of the little that's left to them.
That's enough, Dillon.
Hello, Murdoch.
Stand up, dog eater.
Don't hit him again, Murdoch.
I'll do as I please. You've got no right to come snooping, Dillon. Asking questions, trying to turn my skin agin me.
The way you treat him, you'll turn him against yourself. And he may not be so friendly once you two are alone down in the Indian nations.
I don't fear no Indian. Least of all him. I know him. Lived with him plenty of years.
So I heard. They thought you were good medicine then, huh?
Sure. I brought him the long arm. The first gun they ever seen. Gave him more meat than they ever seen, too. Sure, I was good medicine.
Yeah, but you've changed some.
I'm not so romantic as I was. I can take 'em or leave 'em alone. Besides, Injun's day is done. A man don't need to walk easy with him no more.
I wouldn't be too sure of that.
With this, I can be sure.
Well, you still shoot a big 50, huh?
Yeah, and I can load and fire as fast as another man with one of them new repeaters. And I can drop a buffalo near a mile. Or a man. Hey, killed an Injun once at 1,200 yards. Like to took off his head.
You enjoy killing, don't you, Murdoch?
Oh, I don't mind it.
You know, 30 years on the plains have done something to you. Something crazy. Maybe you were a pioneer once, opening up the West, a loner doing what you had to do, making your own law. But your day's finished, Murdoch. You have to abide by the law now.
Are you through, Dillon?
I see by your outfit you're going light and fast. That must mean south. Well, I'm warning you, don't try it.
I'll go where I aim to go. No cavalry'll stop me. And I just hope you try.
All right, if that's the way you want it. You cross that line and I'll come after you. I could have sent word to the colonel out at Fort Dodge and let the cavalry handle Murdoch. But this was something personal. It was a job I wanted to do myself. I couldn't touch Murdoch until he crossed the line into the Indian nations, so the next morning I just watched him drive out of town. I gave him a couple of hours, and then Chester and I started on his trail. Went straight south, across the Arkansas, into the nations.
I don't know, Mr. Dillon. It seems almost too easy. His wagon tracks in the snow going straight as a board as far as you can see over the next rise.
Yeah, I know, Chester. But we better keep our eyes open. We should be getting close to him now.
Well, I guess ain't nothing to worry about as long as we can see his tracks up ahead.
Maybe not. But we'll come up on that rise easy. Just might be waiting for us on the other side.
I don't know. The way he ain't bothering to cover his trail, it seems like he ain't expecting us to follow him. Maybe he didn't believe you.
Don't count on it.
No, I ain't. I swear this ain't the time of year for traveling, is it? Good time for buffalo hunting, though. Coats will be prime. And if I was... Mr. Dillon!
Chester, you hit?
No, sir, he didn't get me. He got my horse, but I'm pinned down.
All right, I'll get you out.
Mr. Dillon, look out. He's still shooting.
All right, just stay flat behind the horse. Now, you pull your leg out when I lift up on the saddle, huh?
Yes, sir, I will.
There. Now, stay low.
Mr. Dillon, where'd that shot come from?
Well, I'm not sure, but Yeah. From over in that rim of rock there.
He must have circled around.
Yeah, we rode right into a trap. How's your leg?
Well, it ain't broke, I don't think. But it hurts some, all right. Oh, I'm afraid I ain't going to be much use to you, Mr. Dillon.
Don't worry about it, Chester.
But what are we going to do? We can't just lay here in the snow. We'll freeze.
That's probably what Murdoch's thinking.
He sure planned it, and he got us pinned out here in the open. No cover anywhere is near. Mr. Dillon, my rifle's under the horse. Maybe we can...
No, it wouldn't do any good anyway, Chester. It's too far. Only his buffalo gun has this range.
Yes, sir. I got it. Why, now he shot your horse, Mr. Dillon. There was no need for that.
Yeah. He's showing us how great a hunter he is, Chester.
What are we going to do without horses?
We'll worry about that later. Right now, there's one thing we can do. Get up to those rocks and rush him.
But how?
Well, his big 50's a single shot. He's got to reload between shots.
He's doing it mighty fast.
Yeah, but while he is, I could be moving.
Oh, Mr. Dillon, you wouldn't never make it. Why, that's 500 yards or more.
You got any other ideas, Chester?
No, sir, I ain't. Oh, darn this leg.
It's all right, Chester. This isn't your fight anyway. Well, I think I'll draw a shot and see just how fast he can reload.
No, Mr. Dillon.
1, 2.
You're taking awful
3,
chance standing up like
4,
that, Mr. Dillon.
5.
No. Gracious.
All right. Now we know. 5 seconds.
That ain't very long.
Well, that'll have to be long enough. Well, Chester?
Yes, sir. Good luck, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah. Same to you, Chester. Hey, Murdoch! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Not like hunting buffalo, is it, Murdoch?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, you're getting closer, Murdoch.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, maybe he's caught on.
Hey, Murdoch! You couldn't be out of ammunition, could you?
I wonder.
Hey, Murdoch!
I lay there half covered by the snow, knowing Murdoch might easily be holding me in the sights of his rifle. But I also knew I couldn't lie there much longer. I'd freeze before darkness could give me the cover I needed. Then I saw movement among the rocks. It was Golden Calf. He walked to the rim, then started down toward me. The body of Jace Murdoch, lifeless in his arms. I got up and went to meet him. And as I approached, Golden Calf stopped, and after a moment, he placed the body gently on the ground. Why did you do it, Golden Calf?
I know now you spoke the truth. His medicine was not good. Not anymore.
Is that the only reason you killed him? Here? Now? All right, thanks, anyway. I'm going to have to take you back. But nobody will convict you for saving the life of a U.S. Marshal. Well, we're going to have to bury him.
Yes.
Here, wait a minute. Let me see your wrist. That's a new gash. Was Murdoch a relative of yours?
He was my father. I am Golden Calf, the son of Long Arm.
Oh. Well, all right, Golden Calf. Let's get started.
Gunsmoke, Produced and directed by Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Our story was specially written for Gunsmoke by John Meston, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Sound patterns by Tom Hanley and Bill James. Featured in the cast were John Daner, Sam Edwards, and Clayton Post. Parley Bear is Chester, Howard McNear is Doc, and Georgia Ellis is Kitty.
After taking the tobacco commercials out of our first two Gunsmoke shows, I realized we had some extra time. So, as an experiment, I've taken a half-hour Gunsmoke episode and turned it into a quarter-hour show. I've left all the plot in, but taken out all the unnecessary conversation. See what you think as we hear a condensed version of Gunsmoke as our third show.
Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of Gunsmoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad, the transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America, and the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man, Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful and a little lonely.
Look yonder, Mr. Dillon. It's Jeb Wingate, ain't it?
Yeah, I just hope he doesn't want to find some shade and talk for an hour. I want to get back to Dodge.
Hello, Marshal. Chester.
Hello, Jeb.
How are you, Jeb?
Hey, that's fine. You fellas are carrying lariat ropes.
Oh, what's up, Jeb? You want somebody hung?
No, it ain't that. It's to help a poor fella out the other side of the mound there. He's got an old chewed-up single-tree wagon. Now his traces are busted.
Well, can't he tie them together?
Oh, they're too short already. I was riding over to my place for some rope, but maybe you can save me the trip. Some poor, half-starved pilgrim. I feel kind of sorry for him, though.
I don't see no man with no wagon.
You will in a minute. There he is.
And look at that horse, too.
Hello.
Hello.
Here, you could use some rope, mister. Here's 30 feet.
I sure thank you.
Where you headed?
Dodge, I guess.
You come far?
Montana territory?
Well, no wonder.
I'm the marshal in Dodge. You looking for work?
If they'll give it to me. I heard the Santa Fe's laying more track there.
Well, I know the agent. Maybe I can help you.
I'll fetch you another rope soon as I can.
No need for that.
My name's Hook, Marshal. Arden Hook.
Well, we'll be seeing you.
Thank you kindly.
Afternoon, Matt.
Hello, Kitty. Have you seen Chester?
No, I haven't.
Well, he was supposed to meet me here. Guess I might as well wait for him, huh?
There's a man who's really broke.
Oh, who?
Arden Hook.
What?
The fella Sam hired yesterday over there. Haven't you seen him yet? I think he's been poor all his life.
Well, what's he doing for Sam?
Oh, anything. Cleans the place up, mostly. He seems to know you.
Yeah, we ran into him out on the prairie.
Oh, hello, Marshal.
Oh, I see you made it, Hook.
Thanks to you. I'll be buying you a new rope soon, Marshal. I got me a job.
Forget the rope. You'll need your money for food and a bed.
Oh, Mr. Noonan, give me that shack out back. I can cook some there, too.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, it's going to...
Sanders.
Oh, no.
Look. Well, what do you know?
Excuse me, Marshal.
What? Where you going?
Wait a minute, you. Yeah, it's him, all right.
Who are those men, Kitty?
You're Arden
Bill
Hook,
Centers and Ed Hogler.
Yes.
They drift
Don't you
in once in
remember
a
us,
while.
Hook? Don't you remember Lawrence back in 56?
Matt, did I tell you that Mr.
Yes,
Podge...
Kitty, wait a minute.
We
will you?
remember, too.
I want to hear this.
Oh.
We ain't very likely to forget, are we, Sanders? No. And neither is any other man who rode with us. Where you been all these years, Hook? Tell us.
I've been around. All over.
I can't think of a single man who's seen you in Missouri for some 20 years.
I didn't mean Missouri.
No, I guess you didn't. Ain't a fitting place for the likes of you, is it?
We're wasting time talking to him, Hogler.
You work in here, Huck?
Yeah.
Good. We'll have a little talk before we leave town. For old time's sake, huh? You go on about your work now. We'll see you later.
Matt, they're going to do something to him.
They're just a couple of riders, you say, Kitty?
That's all I know about him.
Well, maybe I can find out more.
How?
I think Hook's gone out to his room. Excuse me, Kitty. I'll be back in a little while. What are their names, Hook? Bill Centers, Ed Hogler?
You heard them?
Yeah, I heard them, but I don't know quite what they were talking about.
It's nothing, Marshal. I used to know them, that's all.
Uh-huh. Now, Missouri, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
They said something about Lawrence back in 56.
They were just talking.
Lawrence, Kansas, that was the first time it was raided by Missourians under General Atchison, wasn't it? You and Centers and Hogler were with him, huh?
All right. I'll tell you. I was there. I raided across the border with him. I helped them sack Lawrence. I even killed a man. I killed him in cold blood. Marshal, he was trying to give up, and I shot him anyway.
The Centers and Hogler don't hold that against you, do they?
Not hardly. Oh, they knew the man, but they didn't care about that.
And why are they after you, Hook?
The war didn't start at Fort Sumter in 61, Marshal. It started in 56, right here in Kansas, at Lawrence.
So?
I'll never know why I killed that man. But I swore I'd never kill another for any cause. So I run away.
There are a lot of men who didn't fight, Hook.
But I started out fighting, and then I quit. They don't forget that. Not Missouri, they don't. Maybe I am a coward. I don't know. But they're gonna kill me, Marshal.
You're sure of that, huh?
I know them. And I know what they're like.
All right. Hook, I want you to stay here in Dodge.
And get killed?
Now they've found you, they'll follow you. You're safer in Dodge than you'd be anyplace else.
Well, I guess so.
You leave it to me. You'll be safe.
He'll run off if we don't go get him soon, Hogler.
Where's he gonna run to?
Hogler's right. He isn't running anywhere.
What? Oh, Marshal, huh?
You're Hogler?
You want something, Marshal?
Yeah. I want you to leave Arden Hook alone.
Little coward like that, I wouldn't feel right even touching him.
What happened happened a long time ago. Why keep it alive?
Was you in the war, Marshal?
Yeah, I was in the war. But it's all over, and the sooner everybody forgets about it, the better.
We might have won if it wasn't for cowards like Arden Hook.
All right, there's no use arguing with you. But Hook's gonna stay here. And if anything happens to him, anything at all, I got enough evidence on you two to hang you.
Too bad you found out about all this, Marshal. Yeah, I guess there's nothing we can do now, Sanders.
You mean we're gonna let that little coward go?
Yeah, we'll let him go. Who cares about him anyway? Bye, Marshal.
Miss Kitty, have you saw Arden Hook anywheres? It's really important.
No, Chester. Not since he left this noon.
Left? For where?
Well, Jeb Wingate finally found him and they left.
Where'd they go, Kitty?
Jeb gave him a job, Matt. He hired him on.
There. See?
What did I tell you, Mr. See there, Doc? Didn't I tell you? What
You were right, Chester, yeah.
Well, I wish him luck, but I can't see Arden Hook working on a ranch somehow. He's about the last man I'd pick out.
Matt, I've got an idea.
Yeah, what, Doc?
Well, I just remembered something.
Well, tell us.
It's nothing you don't already know if you just have thought of it.
Yeah, but I didn't think of it, Doc.
You ever hear of Lou Wingate?
Yeah, Jeb's talked about him a time or two.
He talks about him a lot.
Hey, wait a minute, Doc. Lou Wingate was killed in the first raid on Lawrence in 56,
That's
wasn't he?
right. Shot down when he was trying to give up. The way Jeb always tells us.
Sanders and Hogler. They went to Jeb and told him who killed his brother.
So he hired Arden Hook. Hired him so as he can have him out there alone, where there'll be no witness.
Chester, go get our horses. It's going to be dark before we get there now.
Somebody's coming. You think they followed us?
Well, I don't know, but they weren't far behind us. Now, don't let them see you now.
Oh, sure I won't.
Hey, look, pull it through him from here.
It's Hogler and Sanders.
I don't
quiet.
understand this, Hogler. Why not? Well, Jeb Wingate said he was going to kill Hook and make it look like an accident, didn't he? Yeah. Then why not let him do it? Because I want Hook killed another way. I want that smart Marshal Dillon to hang him. And I'm going to make him do it. How? Kill Wingate, and everybody will think Hook done it. He's the only man who'd have a reason, ain't he?
I'm going to move out there, Chester. You stay here.
Right in the back.
I got the drop on you, Hogler.
It's Arden Hook. He's got a rifle.
I heard most of what you were telling Centers.
He's going to shoot us, Hogler. Look, and I can...
All right, that's enough, Hogler.
So, Marshal, get him. Don't shoot, Marshal. Don't shoot.
Then drop your gun, Centers.
Sure.
Chester.
Yes, sir.
Go get Wingate.
Yes, sir, I'll get him.
You killed Hogler, Marshal.
Yeah, I killed him.
I didn't want anybody to die.
They'd have killed you and Wingate both if I hadn't stopped them.
I was about to warn them. I was all ready to shoot.
It's too late.
I wasn't going to shoot Wingate, Marshal, honest.
The court can decide that, Centers. Arden Hook was ready to give his life for you, Jeb.
I know. And I ain't very proud of myself, Marshal.
You got no cause to be. You know, I'd throw you in jail, but you haven't done anything yet.
I want to do something.
Yeah, what?
Hook, I didn't bring you out here for a job.
I know.
But, well, I'm offering you one now, if you'll stay.
I ain't sure I'm strong enough for this kind of work.
Why don't you tell him that you've got that kind of strength? Tell him it takes a different kind of strength to be a brave man.
Thank you, Marshal. Will you stay, Hook?
Yeah, I'll stay.
Join us again next week for another specially transcribed story on Gunsmoke.
Thanks for joining me for an hour of some of the old-time radio shows young America liked the best. I'm River Gibbs. Join me again next time right here. This is the Yesterday USA Radio Network.